So an important video today as we talk about Bitcoin and where it could be headed, what's going on with the market, as well as one specific asset related with crypto and AI that has some pretty massive upside, and we could see multiple returns from here. So we're going to go ahead and talk about that later in the video, but quickly, Bitcoin has had 5 monthly candles in red. The last time we saw this, I did tweet about this. It was back in 2018. That was close to the downside to Bitcoin then. But for here, we know that Bitcoin is in a midterm election cycle here, and that tends to be quite volatile overall for crypto markets and stock markets in general. But we have had 5 red monthly candles. What that means to me is potential bounce. With the structure of Bitcoin, I do want to see it break above 72K. If we can break above that on the daily, then I think that we're going to have an upside as much as higher to mid 80K. But Bitcoin right now, I think a lot of sellers, we're starting to run out of that, and we do need some upside, really based on what the stock market does. I think March and April can be green months for Bitcoin, and I just think that overall, we seem to be holding pretty well. That's on the monthly chart. On the weekly chart, we are well above the 200 weekly average here, the SMA, and really historically, that has shown us to be a bottom for Bitcoin, at least in previous cycles. Again, last time in 2022, 2023, we were below the SMA for Bitcoin. And yes, do we want to get back above that? Certainly we do. But I think it's safe to say that we've yet to see whether or not this is a bottom. Short term, though, a bounce seems very likely, though we need to break above 72K. The line in the sand, of course, is to maintain this range. If you go ahead and break it down, right, staying above 60K is going to be important, specifically around 62K. Again, starting to break down lower lows below 63, 62K is a downside for me, thinking that we're going to not only retest 60K, but go back below it. And again, really depends on the stock market, what's going on there. But overall, I do like where we're headed with Bitcoin in this current market. Can we continue with the global conflict that's going on in Iran with the missiles and wars? With that out of the way, I think that we could see, hopefully, Bitcoin take a bounce here. Again, 72K, short term, that's where we're going from there. As I've said before, there seems to be a big gap in price between in around mid to upper 80K. So I think a break of 72K, you're going to get at least another 20% bounce from there. So I think that looks good for spot short term. We do want to continue to look at the market each and every day. But short term, I think that's kind of the key area that we want to look for Bitcoin. We can look at some other things, but taking a look at something that I talked about in Telegram. And so my Telegram, only around 500 people. I gave a thesis for Venice for VVV a couple of days ago, but really this is up around 30% from when I talked about it. It dipped back down, was a great buy opportunity. Now this token right here, I did not get in this until $5. And so I saw the break of this area and I said, oh man, okay, break at 460, 470. I got to get in this. In 3 straight days, it's been doing pretty well. I think it has a lot of upside. I'll go ahead and tell you, but you also have to be wary whenever a token pumps like this violently. It could also have violent pullbacks, as we've seen with Venice, but this is really starting to catch on. But if this is dipping at all, I'm going to buy the dips. I think that this heads back up to hit new highs from where it left off back in 2025. And I think that, yes, it'll break $20. Venice token in general is only around 300 million market cap. And where that compares to other AI tokens, it's way down here. Okay, so I think that this 300 million market cap is going to eventually, in the coming weeks to months, come up to over 1 billion. And so we're looking at potential 3 to 5x here. I think it needs to reprice up over ICP, closer to this near category to BitTensor. And you know, there's a lot of good things about Venice. You can actually go to their website. I can go ahead and click it here, and it's nice and clean. And you're going to see that basically they do have, you can actually buy per month, and I'll go ahead and break that down. But really what Venice allows is it's a privacy-first AI platform, okay? So you can basically interact with the frontier models of AI, GPT, Claude, Llama, you name it, without surrendering your data. And so some people may say it's the DuckDuckGo of AI, which again, there's definitely a market for that. But you can get AI capabilities with maintaining full control over your prompts, conversations, outputs with privacy. And so we do know that is a big thing in as far as ethics, as we've seen with surveillance of AI and the presidency and everything going on with that. But that's a big deal as far as what Venice can offer. They also have an API related with that. But we do know that as far as AI goes, that currently this 300 million market cap with a live product, growing users, paying customers, and API revenue, I do think that this is undervalued at 300 million market cap. And yes, this has actually went up quite a bit in the last week. My thesis, if you haven't joined my Telegram, I can actually drop it below. But really my investment thesis hinged around the variables of growth of AI uses, adoption of Venice as an aggregation layer, and supply compression from VVV locking. But I don't think it's out of the question to hit 2 billion market cap or higher, depending on these things as we see a growth in AI surge coming around. So I want exposure to AI. Specifically, if you're a crypto trader and investor, what are those products? I think BitTensor is going to be good. I think Near is going to be good. And from there, I think Venice is going to be good. And Venice, compared to these other 2 to 3, is quite undervalued. So a repricing of Venice, I think of at least 5x personally over time. I'm not saying it's going to happen the next few days and the next few weeks, but I do think that will put it above $20. And with Venice, the beauty of Venice overall is that most of its volume is coming from Coinbase Exchange. Yes, you can actually buy it on chain. Yes, you can buy it at Bybit or KuCoin or Gate and other places, Kraken. But overall, it's on major crypto exchanges where a lot of people can have access to it, and you can actually buy with size. A lot of times with a lot of tokens, the problem is you can't get in with size. You can't get in with 10, 20, 30K, whatever size means to you. But with Venice, you can actually do so. And so I think with people having access to that, you can get in with good liquidity and good size. I think that there is something to be said about this having a lot higher upside in what it has to offer as far as a privacy layer. When it comes to artificial intelligence, I want exposure. I think getting any type of asset that is offering a product to use right now on major exchanges has high upside. Again, you don't want to chase it. I am buying pullbacks and dips of this, but that is why I think you should check it out. Again, looking on the lower time frames, we've seen that it has had some pumps today. So if we see any type of pullback like it has pulled back over the past day, that was a great buying opportunity. Every time there's dips, I do like to look at lower time frame charts to see how it behaves. And again, if I can see a dip again on Venice, I will slowly add to that. But be careful to chase on any type of green candle. There needs to be a bit of a pullback. I don't think you're going to get left behind, per se, but I do think that it will reprice to above $20 over time. And that's why I think that Venice is a great opportunity to get in a token that's not quite at 1.5 to 2 billion market cap yet. And yeah, so I also went to Capra. As you know, that I'm a co-founder of Capra and have building it out to make trading and investing easier for people with a lot of cool tools to use. But you can also go in and really discuss and get really good insight that you're not going to find on all AI models about different tokens within crypto as well, and what is the base case and bull case scenario when it comes to upside. With Venice, I did talk about that, and really you're looking at a base case at least 900 million to 1 million market cap if it does become a default privacy AI tool with crypto natives, and just capturing just even 10% of the decentralized AI market. Bull case scenario, at least 3 to 5 billion. Moon case scenario, you're looking at more like 5 to 9 billion market cap overall if it can become more mainstream adoption for privacy consensus enterprises. Again, also talking about risk factors as well too, but I do think that compared to other AI tokens, Capra laid it out pretty well as far as how high. And so again, if you're not signed up for the beta for Capra, just make sure that you can go to trycapra.com and put in your email, and we'll send out an email when that becomes available to get early access soon. But again, a great tool to use, really building some cool stuff there and trying to make something affordable to make people more successful with the markets, because we do know that's going to be very important as things move forward with competition from people when it comes to trading and investing. So with that said, check out Venice, understanding buying dips on that, why I'm bullish in bull case scenarios. But Bitcoin moving sideways, want to see it close above 72K. And I think that leads to upside here up to the mid upper 80Ks. For any reason we start to get a daily close below 63 to 62K, I think a retest of the bottom of the range at 59 to 60K, potential going lower based on what the stock market does. So that's just your overview to start the week for Bitcoin and crypto, in my views on one of the assets that I think that getting exposure to now could be big in the future if we see continual growth and enhancement in the AI sector related with crypto assets. All right, guys, hope that you have a great rest of your day. Trade safe, and I will see you on the next one.